The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I will be confident. One thing I have desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in the pavilion, in the secret in his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up on a rock. And now shall mine head be lifted up above mine enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yea, I will sing praises unto the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me, and answer me. When thou saidst, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Lord, will I seek. Hide not thy face far from me. Put not thy servant away in anger. Thou hast been my help. Leave me not, neither forsake me, O God of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. Whoa. Peace and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's a lot of beautiful faces. It's so good to see all of you guys, even the ones from out of town. You know, it's very nice to be here. You know, coming across this lesson, you know, when I was coming up and doing this topic, it came to me. It's been a very long time since you guys have seen me. It's been so long that some have maybe even forgot who I am. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nathaniel, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that is, who we could say, pretty common, but I feel like it's very complex. There's a lot of layers to uncover. We're talking about our worth today, and our self-worth and our value. So, what better way to start this topic than to see where your minds are? You know, let's all get on the page. I want to see where my audience's mind is right now. So, when I say value or self-worth, what comes to mind? Anyone, please. Yes, Levi. Yeah, sorry.
I think of doing what you have to do to take care of yourself.
Okay. Just if you guys want to say something, please say in the mic so that everyone on YouTube can hear you. But yeah, Levi. What Levi said is that he thinks of respect and value, right? What about you, Ruben? I saw your hand up.
To me, value is the things that you can do for not only yourself, but for the people that are around you, your loved ones, your family, friends, whatever it may be.
What an answer right there. I like that. That was a good answer. Aaron, I heard you had something to say. Don't be shy now.
I was just going to say respect.
Respect. You know, these are all, oh, yes.
Knowing when to set boundaries.
You see, that's the wisdom, you know, through time, you know, you get better answers, you know, you get a deeper inquiry. Yes.
So I would say your integrity.
Your integrity. You know, all these things are so important. I agree with you guys, you know, I feel like this all has something to do with worth and value. You know, as I was thinking about this topic, you know, I spent days, I had a couple of restless nights because I was like, how there's so many ways to go through in this topic. There's so many angles you can take. You know, people have different ideas, different perspectives, you know, through our lives. We live our day-to-day life. You know, we have different experiences, so we have different things to say and we can relate it. So the way I ended up seeing it, actually, before I see the way I saw it, I want to tell you the common narrative that is published. So what they do is, whenever they're trying to motivate, they try to tell you, you're worth something. You were put on this earth to do something, No matter what anyone says, you have an innate value. So what they would do, they would storytell, imagine Christopher, rich man right here. You have a $100 bill. This $100 bill, right? If I crumple it up and I throw it, and then I pick it up, it's crumpled now. Is it still worth $100? Yes. Okay. What if I step on it? I put it on the ground and I just step on it. It's not worth $100 anymore. Surely it's not worth $100. Is it? Yes. It's still worth 100? Okay. What if I throw that $100 bill in the trash and the garbage man that sees it picks it up? Is it still worth $100? But how? It was in the garbage. How is it worth $100? Because it
still has its value.
Thank you. What they're trying to convey through this explanation is that though in life you go through trials and tribulations, your innate value is still there, even if you go through something, taxes, your bills, all the physical things that comes with life, all the physical things that we do not like in life. Your value has never left. Maybe you forgot about it, but it has not changed. So that's what they try to go with. But me, what I see when I think about self-value, self-worth, I think about the people of Israel, the children of Israel. We have something that is completely different from everyone else. We have intrinsic value. Now, when I see the word intrinsic, do you know what comes to mind? What do you guys think? What does intrinsic mean? Please, I know there's university students here. Intrinsic.
It's the value that you value yourself.
It's along the lines, but intrinsic means essential, natural, yes, embedded value. We have intrinsic, essential value that ties in with our relationship to the Most High, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. As I kept on thinking about this topic, I came across three important things that I feel like you need to have this in your mind when thinking about this topic as we go along this discussion. The first thing I wanted to say that was very true is that the world we live in, this physical world that we live in, is extremely judgmental and opinionated. Can we all agree with that? Okay. Now, can we also agree that as human, we seek validation? But sometimes the validation that we seek, we neglect the one that is the most important, the validation that is the most important. We seek a validation from everyone around us, but the validation that really matters, is your own validation, but not only your own, but the validation that has been given to you by your Father, by that relationship. Now, the third thing is we always have a choice. Can we agree with that? So these 3 points that I've just explained to you guys, I want you guys to keep this in your mind, because when we talk about this stuff, to get to a deeper level, we have to think about it in different ways. We can't go about it the common way, We have to put our mind on the same page, get on the level and see where we're going, how deep we're trying to go, right? To uncover the value, the message. But through these points, there's a common, they all have some sort of common relationship, yes. And I would say the commonality between the 3 points are yourself. You are the common factor when it comes to these 3 points. I'll explain. At first, I said the world is highly opinionated and judgmental. Okay, so what can someone's opinion do to you? What can someone's judgment do to you? Please tell me. Has someone ever judged you before? How did it make you feel? It depends, right? Okay, what about an opinion? What has an opinion done to you? Did it ever sting you? Did it ever leave you uneasy? Because like, how can you think of that of me? Like, it's like, wow, I've shown myself and this is what you got? Damn, this is really what you thought of me? Wow. It really makes you feel like seeing yourself through someone else's eyes can be a scary place sometimes. The thing about opinions, opinions are very persuasive. A good opinion, a person that's lying, can sway you because of how it sounds. You know what I mean? So when someone's casting their opinions, sometimes it can persuade you to think in their way, their negative way. And words, how we express ourselves, words is a part of communication. All this stuff is spiritual. So now you're feeling all these sorts of emotions and feelings, negative ways, and you put on yourself. And now you go about your day-to-day life, and you're embracing that negativity, that unpositive spirit, if I may say. You embrace this now, and this is what people are getting from you. So it can affect us. Now, the other thing I said was we also seek validation, right? Going into this point, I remember watching a movie, It was a classic movie. It's kind of stoic. I think it was some sort of Japanese or stoic movie. It was very interesting. But in the movie, I saw something very funny. The man said, you cannot dishonor yourself. No, the man cannot dishonor you. You can only dishonor yourself. I was like, what? Because it's like, these are like samurais. These are fighters, right? So they're always about like being prideful. And the master told him, he cannot take your honor. Your honor, you can only take away your own honor. It's like it has to do with you. And that's why I'm saying that all these 3 points have something to do with you. You are the commonality on these factors. This led me to think that, more than often, we have more power than what we think, We hold ourselves back because we're not aware of the situation that we're in. We're not aware of the circumstances at hand. We're not aware that we have the ability to change our reality. So, this leads me to say, how do we bridge the gap? How do we connect, ourselves right here? Sometimes we can be swayed by the factors of life, and then the value, the worth, being worth more. How can we amount to more? How do we tie the two together? Does anyone have an idea?
In order to tie the two things together, you have to truly know yourself and spend a lot of time understanding who you are, your values, your beliefs, your ideals. Those things, and when you truly understand that another person's opinion of you cannot change the way you feel about yourself.
That was well said. That was well said. That was well said.
I like where you're going, Nathaniel. You're breaking it down real nice, and I see where you're going. I see you, brother. I think. What's the question again? I came up here. What's the question? How do I tie? How do I tie the two together? And I think you made a good point with that movie. It was like, a man cannot dishonor you.
Yes.
Only you can dishonor yourself.
Yes.
Right. That's how I'm thinking of how he said it. Right.
It was like,
and it goes back to like fundamentals, right? At the end of the day, and it goes back to even what you're saying, right? At the end of the day, the only person that we can control is ourselves. At the end of the day. You can't control nobody else. People are going to do what they're going to do. People are going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. I say that all the time. People are going to do what they want to do, right? But it's up to me as far as how I react to that. And even to understand, too, where my power is even coming from. And I know you're going to tie it in, too. But even understand where my power is coming from, all of that is very fundamental for me understanding, again, my value. And it's all, we all have the choice. Like you have the choice. You know, in the scriptures it talks about, you know, if one pillar goes down, the Lord sets another one up. You understand? Doesn't mean that that pillar was like that pillar was still set up though, but it was like it wasn't doing the job, so it's just like that job is going to get done. But it's just like how do you play in that story? Like how are you involved in that? Right? Like, how do you, and again, going back to your point about, you know, it's a choice and it's all up to you. It all starts and ends with you. Even your relationship with God. You know, I remember as a kid, my grandfather used to always tell me, who's the most important person in your life? And I was a kid, so I'm trying to, you know, kid, you trying to make the right answer. So I'm like, God is the most important person. Wrong. God is not the most important. It's you. You're the most important person in your life. And to your point again, it's because you make the choice. You know, you can develop and cultivate that spirit of truth and wisdom and understanding, or you can, you know, lose that. And it's all up to you at the end of the day. You know, we have so many examples in the scriptures, but I don't want to take away from you. You're doing great, Nathaniel.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I only say this because, you know, it's funny because you see how you said that we have so much power, you know, it's in you. Everything starts with you. It starts and ends with you. It's funny you say that because I have that as my lock screen. It starts and ends with you, like taking action. You saying this is like, it makes me think, is because if you always choose negativity, right, you always choose to be pessimistic. You always choose to look at the glass half empty, but never half full. You know, if you always take that negative route, when you get hit, okay, when you're battling yourself, because I like boxing, UFC. So let's visualize this, okay? You have you all right here, you have your negative self and the world on the other side. That's your opponent. When your opponent hooks you right into your liver, you know, the liver shot is a dangerous blow in the field of martial arts. You know, it disturbs your whole equilibrium, you know, you get shaky legs, you know. That hit, when you go down on the ground, it's really you. It's the people around you, you know, the people with the opinions. Let's say your mother, you know, your friends. They're telling you, you're worth something. You know, you've always could amount to something. That's them outside of the ring. Get up, come on, keep fighting. Know who you are. You know, but at the end of the day, they can't come in the ring and lift you up. They can't literally pick you up. It's up to you. You have to dig deep. You have to dig deep and find your fight, your will. You have to stand up before the 10 count, before it's over, you know? You have a chance. Every round, think of every round as like a cycle. Every round, you know, maybe you lose that round, okay? He got you right there. The hook to the liver was too much, you know? But you got back up. The battle's not over. The game is not done. Next round, you're guarding up now. You're guarding that liver. You're not going to be high guarding no more because, you know, you're learning your lessons. So you're going to be up. You're going to be ready. He's going to throw a hook. Check. Boom. He's on the ground now. Now you're walking with confidence. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a battle. You have to understand that the fight starts with you. Your internal conflict starts with you. You're the only one that can make it through the storm, you know? So, but going back to bridging the gap, when I think about bridging the gap between, you know, your worth and your value, you know, your internal conflict, your internal value, you as the person, right? I feel like what builds that bridge is your confidence, but not only confidence, because I feel like confidence is half of it. You know, you also need faith. Your confidence and your faith. And your confidence becomes stronger through fact and truth. You know, I say this because what is one thing they always tell you as a kid, a shy person as a child? They tell you can fake confidence. Confidence is very easy to fake. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. But you want it to be more effective, you tie it to truths. You know, they teach you to be confident, you know, to just act confident because they believe that eventually it's going to become true. So that then you're no longer faking it. You're just like, oh, it's a natural. Like if I'm standing up here, you don't know deep down if I'm shaking. I could be shaking. I could be timid. But the only person that will ever know that is me. You know what I mean? So being a confident person, when you are trying to be a fully, like I'm fully embraceful, a person that is fully believing in themselves, it stems by truth. And the way I would like to look at it is like this. When you're not confident, right? When you're faking to be, not faking, but like, you're doing what you've been told your whole life. You're gonna get to a certain level where it's like, it could be more impactful. But when you're being unconditionally yourself, and you're not worried about what anyone thinks, then it's like, okay, you're really sure of yourself. Then that's when you walk in the room adjusts to you. You know? You're not trying to fit in because you know it's okay to stand out. That's what you want. You know, faith and confidence is like, it's like Mario and Luigi. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Shaq and Kobe, if I may say. So you need to have both. When you put both of them together, then you can amount to so much more. Sticking on the preconceived notion of confidence, if someone were to tell you, I have let's say, Jakem, you're gonna buy a car, right? You're gonna buy a McLaren 765 LT, okay? And your salesman is like this. This is your salesman saying, oh, Jakem, I think you'd be a great fit for the car. This car is quite fast. I think it has like a 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. 2.7 seconds, 0 to 60 miles per hour. It's like, okay, yeah, he's telling you the facts, but it's like, he's trying to do the job. But if the guy comes and tells you, look, Jakem, if you get in this car, you put your foot on that pedal, in 0 to 60 seconds, you're gonna be there 2.7 seconds, you're gonna be down the street, 100 miles an hour, you're out of here. You see the delivery is better, he's more sure, he knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about knowing, the confidence is like, when you truly believe what you're saying, there's no disconnect, where you're speaking and then it's true. Now I want to speak about faith. When talking about faith, I feel like a good place to turn to is Proverbs 3. So if you guys could just look at Proverbs 3. Yes, so Proverbs 3. Oh, yikes. Damn. Okay, so Proverbs 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct you in thy paths. So, what this is saying, putting your full truth in the God of Israel, it's a hard thing to do. Maybe back then it was a little bit easier, but like, you cannot see the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, right? So, putting that faith in something, it really has to come from within. You really have to look back at what the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob has done for your life. How has he put his hands and maneuvered you in your life, and putting you in best positions? When you start to think back about all the things that he's done for you, you start to realize, your cup runneth over you. You've been blessed in many ways. You have a lot of blessings. Even in Psalms 100, I want to read the whole psalm. I'm going to read the whole psalm, but it's specifically the first part where I want to focus on. In the first psalm, first Psalm 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come be for his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord he is God. It is he that have made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with the thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. For the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. So he's saying, fully put yourself in the Lord. He's made us. Everything we have to be grateful for, every opportunity we have in our life is because of him. So you heard me talk a little bit about our relations with the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, and how he's blessed us abundantly, right? But maybe you still don't understand where your worth is, your self-value. Maybe that's still not clear to you. You know, if I said Issachar, what's the difference between you and a billionaire? You know, billionaires tie themselves, they say their value, I'm a high value man, whatever, I'm a high value, I'm important, Andrew Tate, all these guys, I'm super valuable, I have all this money. Issachar, I'm telling you, you are as valuable as the billionaire. But how would you see that? If I asked you, tell me.
Peace. I would say I don't really know. I would say my knowledge. I would say my knowledge. I also want to answer that question on what do you think value is. I think my value to me is me knowing that I have my Sabbath, me knowing that I have an altar to go to for my Sabbath and new moons. That's my value, especially in my life, you know?
Yes.
That's the value that I have, right? And without that, I have no value. I'm not valuable, you know? So I really genuinely think that my knowledge, my understanding, and the fact that I understand that I have a new moon or am different than these other cultures makes me as rich in knowledge as the rich man, you know? In his wealth, you know? And it also says in Proverbs about rubies and diamonds as this wisdom, it says her in the streets, it crieth out to the youth, it crieth out to me, right? The knowledge, the wisdom, it cries out to me. It's richer than the rubies and golds you would find, right? So I like that you went to Proverbs because that's my favorite chapter, that's my favorite book in the Bible. But yeah, that's my answer. Thank you.
See, Issachar.
All right.
Thank you.
I know I was just
Thank
up
you.
here, but I think this morning was I think I love the parallels between what was talked about this morning to what you're talking about now. And the question that was asked this morning was very great. And the question that was asked this morning was, what separates us from everybody else in the world?
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's
what
so
separates us
crazy.
from everybody else in the world? So it's just like, to that same point that you're making, like, why is Issachar as valuable as a billionaire, right? But it goes to, like, what is valuable, right? But what is valuable? And you look at what separates us from everybody else, and it's damn near everything. You understand? I was low-key, I wanted to go up there and answer, but it's everything separates us from everything else, from everybody else. Like, you look in the Bible and you see, like, nobody does anything that is in the Bible, not one thing. You know, I love telling people I only do what Jesus has ever done because they don't do what Jesus does, but they love Jesus. But it's just like, it's understanding that what we do, it is so valuable because you even look at the story and how we were taken out of Egypt and we were brought in the wilderness. We weren't in public and put on a display.
Exactly.
We were in secret, and a secret was given to us by our Father. Look at the value that was given to us. Like, there's a reason why it was in secret, right? And we even spoke about, you know, the Christ. I ain't gonna get into it, but even when they asked, you know, who did they say that I am, and they went and said, oh, you're the Christ. And it's just like, don't tell nobody that because that's valuable information. Right? So it goes back to show what is actual value, right? Because those guys weren't rich. The apostles weren't rich. Those guys were fishermen and poor and regular guys, right? It wasn't because of the money that made them valuable, but it was because of spiritual connection that they had to the God of Abraham, to the God of Isaac, and to the God of Jacob.
Nice. Thank you, Chris.
I want to velcro off what Chris said. I love the energy just now. If you go to Matthew chapter 6, you read from verse 19.
Okay, Matthew chapter
Lay not
6.
up for yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourself treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And I like that because when you focus so much on the physical things, such as, the golds and the riches and the physical value that you amount here on earth, you miss the important things in front of you. And even to Issachar's point, I would say his value is not predicated on the physical things he has in his life, but the relationship that he has with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When it says, or when you read, the ways of the Lord should be desired than that of gold, it just shows what we have here, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that was given to us, where it puts us as a people, just by knowing who you are, as well as what you mean to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You are the apple of his eye. You are his inheritance. He kills nations for you. He wipes out and destroys territories. Like, that right there shows you how valuable you are. It shows you how far he's willing to go just to see how happy to make his children. And so I love what Chris says. Even going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he spent so long, for so many years, looking for that perfect man to walk forth in front of him to be that perfect. That whole process, it just shows that the relationship, what he's looking for, all that surmounts to the value of an Israelite. Well, hey, Daniel,
Thank you.
good job, man.
Thank you. See, I like how the crowd's becoming more warm, and, people are fighting for the mic. It's nice to see that. But where I want to go with this, these guys are basically teaching my lesson now. Like, they're on the mic, they're telling everything I want to say. What I was saying before, I was talking a lot about, your value and how the God of Israel sees you, who you are, the relationship. I was talking a little bit about that. And maybe it's still not clear. So I'm going to explain to you what makes a billionaire valuable, right? A billionaire, he ties all his assets, his relationships, right, to himself. He's looked at all his portfolio, all of the things he's done physically, right? He's acquired a mass following. Maybe he has over 250K followers. He has extreme big wallet, right? His wallet is immeasurable. He has capital. He has even real estate. He has all these things, right? And because of these things, he's a busy man. So he ties his value to his time. For you to even get into the door with him, you need to be paying a big penny. You cannot just sit down with me. Come on, I am a billionaire. I am worth something, right? All these people look at me as this figure, this public icon, right? And that's what they control their value. That's what they attribute their value. That's what they attribute their value to. All these physical things. That's nice. That's cute. Whatever. We live in a spiritual world, all right? Forget this billionaire guy, right? Our life is governed by spiritual matters. Stuff that happens in the spirit, the stuff that we cannot see. It emulsifies in the flesh. What happens in the flesh. So our lovely example, Issachar right here, well, he's gone now, but Issachar, what I would say his value, he was made in God's like image, right? Issachar comes from a people where, the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, you know what he did, the lengths he went to protect his people, as they were saying. That's what we should tie our value to. Our value ties into, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob looking on to us. Like, if I were to give a definitive definition to value for us, is our relationship with the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob. Because his worth, we attribute our worth to him. We are worthy to him, and he's created the earth. He's created everything that there is to be on this planet. So how could we not attribute our worth to him? So when we look down, and we say we're nothing, oh, I'm not worth anything, this life is too hard, the bills are there's too many bills, all these things is going on. It's like, we got to get a grip, because the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob is definitely seeing something in you. And you tell me, name one time the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob was wrong. You tell me right now. I'll wait. I'll be here all day. I'll be here for 26 minutes waiting for you guys to find when the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob was wrong. So I just feel like we got to understand that. If we go to Hebrews 11 real quick. Hebrews 11.
Stop it. I'm going to wait. I'll wait patiently.
Oh, wow. Okay, Hebrews 11, verse 6. But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he hath cometh to God must believe that he is rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Oh, actually, no, sorry. My fault. Start from verse 1, sorry. Hebrews 11, verse 1, sorry. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of the things not seen. For by it is the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we have understand that the world we are framed by, the world of God, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. You know, this is some deep stuff right here. This is saying that there's so much more going on. You know, it's not just everything you see. It's not the Instagram followers, it's not your TikTok followers that make you worthy. You know, it's so much stuff that happens in the unseen that manifests in the flesh. That is important. You know, that you have to tie to our faith. You know, you cannot see the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, God of Jacob, but you can see the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob's people. You know, this is His house. So what you're seeing is something that has been manifested, right? So this is the people. You have to understand that you can't literally just see confidence as a thing, but you see a person being confident. It's how you see it. You know, it's always about the perspective of how you're seeing something. Yes, there's a question.
Yes. So I like the question that you posed earlier, and I just listened to all of the answers. And I like the fact that you brought up the whole billionaire things, because I know a couple, but there's something that you have to understand.
Introduce me to some.
I do know, literally, I do know a couple. And to your point, they do have all of that. And they do title their assets to themselves and make themselves incredibly valuable. However, this is the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries, because you asked the question, what sets us apart and what makes us valuable? Well, our elder Shadrach has established a constitution, which makes us a nation within a nation. We have our own flag, which you're standing in front of. We have our own burial ground. We have our national anthem.
Yes.
We have our own building, our own altar. No other nation or group of philosophy has these things. But this is what it really boils down to. Deuteronomy 7. Deuteronomy 7. I'm going to read it really quickly for you, and I'm going to read from verse 6. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all the people that are upon the face of the earth." And you can continue to read on as to why we are so valuable to the greatest God of all, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He's chosen us specifically to be a holy people unto him, to know his laws, his statutes, his commandments, his judgments, to know how to walk in his way in the wilderness. And this was taught unto us in a private school. So when you say that what makes us valuable, we're in a private school. Isn't that right, Elder Michael? As he said, because there was no other nations involved in our schooling, as it were. So that makes us incredibly valuable, because all the nations of the world take from this book and they create their laws and their statutes or whatever they want around our book. So we are valuable as it stands just by virtue of us being Israelites that keep my Father's law, statutes, and commandments. We're also a royal priesthood unto the world.
Yes.
But I feel I'm going into some places that I shouldn't be, so thank you.
Yes. Hello.
Okay, so I was just asking the question, what's the difference between me and the millionaires? First, my God, Spirit of truth, which is manifested in my culture. For them, they do the same. Doesn't matter if I have $10 or $1 million, everybody in the outside does this exact same thing. The difference is our culture. And that's what they're going to be seeing. Doesn't matter how much time we could say the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, they will not even listen or understand. But what you stand for in the culture, what you stand for, what you make sure that, hey, you're doing this, I'm not doing it. That's what they take notice of. So the reflection of us, when they see us, we're the reflection of the God of Israel. And that's our precious, precious, precious stone. Like there's nothing above him. So when you see me, you see my Father.
I love that. You know, I love that you guys are truly like remarkable. You know, you guys understand what's coming, you know, the message being said, you know, even giving your own insights and your own feelings about this. It's truly nice to see. I want to just, Elder Tyrone went into a topic that I actually wanted to speak about really quickly. You know, in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, you guys don't have to go there. I'm just going to read the verse real quick, just to show you where he was going to go. But thank you, he let me do it. So, but ye, okay, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of the darkness into the marvelous night. Into the marvelous night. Into the marvelous night. You've been called out. So it's like he's even telling you, you know, he's telling you once again who his people are. You know, you guys are a marvelous people. You guys are the royal priesthood. You're peculiar. To be peculiar is to be, you know, held above all. You know what I mean? You have, the separation is clear. Separation is really clear. Wow, the time is running away from me. But I wanna jump in to my representation of, you know, the confidence and the faith, you know, and then the self-doubt. So we're gonna turn to Judges 7. For those of you who do not know, Judges 7, chapter 16, speaks about Gideon. And Gideon, you know, we know him as this leader, this boss. We know him as him. He is him. But before he was him, you know, he had some working to do on. You know, he wasn't really the most confident. He wasn't who we remember him for. So I want to start with his victory. I encourage you guys all to read the story because we don't have enough time today to get through it all. But I just want to get to the specific parts. So Judges 16. All right, right here. So Judges 16, verse 16. Okay, Judges 7, verse 16. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let's do this. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put a trumpet in every man's hand with empty pitchers and lamps with the pitchers. Okay, so if you just were to read this story, you know, it would be very confusing. You'd be like, whoa, what's so significant? But I need to really put you guys in the place, right? Okay, so imagine we have Gideon. Gideon stepping up to the mantle, right? He's about to lead the people of Israel, okay? He's going to lead his 300 men. You know how much 300 men are? I don't even think 300 men could fit in this room. So he has 300 men. But, the army, the Midianites that he's about to go face, these guys are 135,000. Whoo-wee! 135,000 to 300 men, that's a mismatch. That is a mismatch. If you told me I'm leading 300 men, I'm going that way, out. You cannot call me to do a job like that. So, you know, Gideon's being brave, you know, he's stepping up to the plate. He's following God's plan right now, okay? So let's go. Where are we? 17, right? And he said unto them, look on me and do likewise. And behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, shall ye do. Okay, so I forgot to leave out a very important thing. You know, he's about to battle 135,000 men, right? You know, there's a 1 to 450 ratio right there, okay? So one of them is going to have to go into the battlefield and slay 450 men for this to go down. 450 bodies in one battle, right? But here's the thing, they don't have any weapons. So how are they about to beat 135,000 men with no weapons? They have no swords, no armor. This is a suicide mission. How are you supposed to do this? There's no arrows. You thought, no, there's nothing. They have nothing. Okay. So Gideon, 19. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came onto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle of the watch, and they had but newly set watch, and they blew the trumpets and break the pitchers that were in their hands. So they have their clay jars, right? They have some lights, they have some torches. They put the torch in the jars. Okay, Gideon says, on my signal, we're about to show these guys. We're gonna follow the plan. We're gonna execute. We're gonna conquer. We're gonna slay. We're gonna win, right? So now we go to 20, and the 3 companies blew their trumpets and break the pitchers and held the lamps in their left hand and the trumpets in the right hand and blow out with all. And they cried, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. Okay, so they break the lights. Gideon goes, "Rah!" Okay, he signals them, go! Okay, so then the pitchers, they go there, right? They break, and then all the people that are in the campsite, they're sleeping. They're like, what? What's going on? They see all these lights. They're under attack. The craziest thing that happens in my nighttime is this guy that yells. He just yaps. I'll be sleeping, and this guy is just yapping at the middle of the night. Oh, he's talking about his baby mama. Oh, you see? But these guys had to endure a battle, an ambush in the middle of the night. Can you imagine what's going on? They're going crazy. Whoa, Gideon, the sword, where's the sword? You know what I mean? They're going crazy right now. So, 21, and they stood every man in his place around about the camp, and all the host ran and cried and fled. And the 300 men blew the trumpets, and Lord set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout all the host. And the host fled in the Bethshitha, in Serath, and to the border of Abo Melola, unto the Tabeth. Okay, so, they did this big ambush attack, right? And this caused them to all fight against each other, because they're like, what's going on? So this was the plan that the God of Israel devised. But a plan like this, we have to really comprehend what just happened, You couldn't even fathom the plan. You want me to go bring my 300 men and battle 135,000 people with no swords, with just the trumpets. I'm going to sing to them? Hey, burp, 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 burp. No, what? No, that's what, if you're in that time, you're going to be shaking. You're going to be, whoa, this is what we're doing? But then let's look at Gideon. Let's pay a little bit more attention to Gideon. Gideon, knowing the plan, he steps to the plate. He's like, all right, I got this. That's the plan? All right, that's what we're going to do then. That's what we're going to execute. So he's rallying the troops. He's telling them, yes, don't worry, my brothers, we're going to win this. We're going to be victorious tonight. We're going to be triumphant. We're going to drink after. This is going to be amazing. We're going to celebrate. We're going to follow the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob's plan. We're going to execute to the T. We trust in the Lord because he's with us. He told us that he will be on our side. He has done this before. He's led the people out of Egypt. So what can go wrong, guys? Who's with me? Who's with me? Yeah. So they all get hyped, they're all in the moment. They're all living. They're like, yes. They do the suicide they do the crazy mission, all right? So that is truly remarkable. It's truly amazing, our people of Israel. But, now we have to see the before. Let's see the before. I think we'll have a little bit of time to cover it, but let's see where Gideon's mindset was before. Before he was this confident, this stud, this man of a man, the glorious Gideon. Where was he before? So if we go to Judges 6, the chapter before, I specifically did this. I wanted to show you the victorious efforts before, just to really let it tie in together. So Judges 6, verse 11. Let's start from there. And there came an angel of the Lord and sat under an oak, which was Ophrah, the pertain unto Joash, the Abiezrite. And his son Gideon threshed wheat by the vine press to hide it from the Midianites. So, right now, we need to understand where we are in the period. Where's the plot? Okay, the Midianites are oppressing the Israelites right now. You know, they're coming through, they're attacking the Israelites, and they're taking everything they have. They're collecting all their crops, and the Israelites are hiding. They're scared out of their mind, out of these Midianites. These guys are savages, and they're trying to hold on to whatever they have left. So, verse 12, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, the Lord is wise, the Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. So the Lord, you know, the representation of the Lord, the extension of the Lord, is coming to Gideon saying, mighty man of valor. You know, he's trying to communicate with him. Verse 13, Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us, saying, did not the Lord bring us out of Egypt, up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. So, number one, Gideon is startled because this angel is here. You know, we're in a time of miracles, right? This is the time of miracles. So the angel representation is here speaking to Gideon. Gideon's, and then after that, you know, he has his doubts. He's like, whoa, look at the world. Look at what we're living in right now. We're getting harassed by these Midianites, these savages. They're coming here, taking all we have. And why would if the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob he's so great, why would we be in this position? Why are we here right now? So he's questioning the Lord. Okay. And the Lord looked up him and said, go in thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites, and have not I sent thee? And he said unto him, O Lord my God, where shall I have saved Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. So he's like, you want me to deliver my people? But we're the lowest in the GTA. We're the lowest in all of Toronto, the poorest family, and I'm even the lowest of the house. So you're coming to the wrong guy right now. What are you doing? God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob. What are you doing, please? Because I don't see it. You can choose someone else. I'm not the guy for this job. So Gideon is just, you know, that's how he's coming off. He's like, there's no way you're talking to me right now. Like, how? Like, I can't be the guy for the job. Okay, where are we? 16. And the Lord said unto him, surely will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. So the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, he's still tolerating this whole interaction. He's saying, don't worry. I understand your doubts, but I'm still going to be with you. I'm still going to be by your side, and you are going to complete the job as one man. As one man. And he said unto him, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then show me sign that talkest with me. So he's like, okay, if you're really talking to me, give me a sign. You know, we're in the time of miracles. It's the least you can do for me, right? And then, depart not hence, I pray thee, until I come unto thee, and bring forth my present, and set it before thee. And he said, I will tarry until thou come again. So he's like, I'm going to come again. And then you're going to see, I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you everything you need to see, and then, you know, we're going to continue. You're going to carry out my plan. You're going to hopefully be reassured. And then Gideon went in, and he made ready a kid and unleavened cakes of ephah, and flour and flesh. He put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and brought it out under the oak, and presented it. And the angel of God said unto him, take the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and lay them upon the rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. So Gideon prepares the offering. He's like, okay, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God of Israel, he's going to come again, right? So I got to prepare an offering, and let's see what happens. Then the angel of the Lord put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the flesh of the unleavened cakes, and there rose a fire out of the rock, and consumed the flesh of the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight. So that was the sign. He's like, all his offering got engulfed in flames. Whoosh, whoosh. He's like, it's as real as it gets right there. 22. And when Gideon perceived that he was an angel of the Lord, Gideon said, Alas, O Lord God, or Lord God, for because I have seen an angel of the Lord face to face. So he's like, whoa, wow, that just happened. He's like, he's baffled. He's like, whoa, that's crazy. So you can see in the beginning, well, where we started from, at the end, you see Gideon. He was this courageous, confident guy to carry out a plan that is really insane, but he still did the job. He had the confidence, he had the faith, he started to show, the God of Israel showed him his worth. He showed him, yes, I see something in you, but you need to see it. Okay, so the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob assisted him to help him see it. So what would I say to you? See how the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has helped you. See how he has assisted you and put you in new positions to help better your life, and then trust in him fully. Because I feel like if any one of us were to look back on our life, we can really easily look and see, wow, how did I get out of that situation? I say that at least in a year, at least 100,000 times. How did I get out of this situation? God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, thank you. So you always have to give thanks. So I want to ask you guys another question. So now that we heard this story, we saw a representation of what I've been saying this whole time. I'm not lying to you guys. What happens when you let doubt define you? Like when you let doubt define your value, What happens? Thank you.
I think when you let doubt define you, it prevents you from achieving your goals because you kind of psych yourself out of it. So you're already defeating yourself before you even try.
Like I would even say, like in Gideon, he was like paralyzed almost. Like he was so scared to take the action. He was avoiding. Like he was instead of stepping into God's calling, he was stepping backwards. So it's like you can't do that. You got to be attentive to these type of things because it's spiritual. In James 1, I'm gonna just like quickly reference it. The one who doubts is like the wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. This is shown in James 1, and that's so true. We're coming down to the last couple of minutes. There was more I wanted to go into because Gideon, in that story, didn't just go right after that offering. It didn't go straight into the battle. Gideon still had his doubts. When you're doubtful, when you really feel a certain type of way, it doesn't just go like this. It takes a little bit of convincing, a little bit of love, a little bit of reassurance for it to go away. So Gideon had a couple more tests for the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And that's how that story goes. But I really encourage to read that story on your free time. It's not that long, but it's a very exciting story in my opinion. But I want to ask you, this is a question I wanted to ask you guys in the beginning, but I chose to leave it off to the end because I wanted to see now that you're on the same, we're all on the same level, we're all thinking in the same direction, right? When you look in the mirror, beyond your accomplishments, your failures, or the roles you play in your life, do you truly recognize the person staring back at you? Do you believe without hesitation that you deserve the very best that life has to offer? And do your actions reflect that belief? I want to let you guys sit with that, because sometimes when you don't think that you're worth something, you speak it into existence, Your mood changes and it affects your life in a different way, in a way that you don't even get to see. It's the people that are around you that notice it. When you get caught up into your emotions, all this, as I was talking to my grandfather, Elder Shadrach, he told me one thing. He told me that your soul has a lot to do with your spiritual matters. So your soul is like who you are. It's like your heart. It's your innards. Your soul. It goes through so much, like all the feelings, all the emotions. That's all to do with your soul right there. All this stuff. So that's why I want to say, it takes a certain type of person to go about all of this, to really understand what is going on. It takes a certain type of person to understand that life is a spiritual matters, and that it can be changed by attitude and positivity because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what negative spirit you're promoting. Yes, Auntie, you had a question? You can say it quickly. It's okay.
The question is for you.
Yes.
If you're a reflection, are you a reflection of the God of Israel? And if the answer is yes, how?
My reflection of the God of Israel? What do you mean?
And if you are, because you're asking us, do you reflect?
Do I reflect?
The values of the God of Israel? And if the answer is yes, how? What do you do as a young person?
What do I do as a young person? Honestly, thank you. This is a good question. I don't mind talking about myself. Okay. No, but me, honestly, for me, when I think about the God, sometimes I get a little bit emotional because it's like, the more I think about it, the more I realize and I'm like maturing and I'm understanding, the more that I try to understand, because it's one thing to just understand, but for you to really understand, you have to try to, you have to try to find answers and solutions. It's like I get sad because I'm like, wow, it's like, am I taking this for granted? Like, life is so short. It's like, I know they say you have all the time in your life, but we're in 2025. Yesterday was 2024, for me at least, that's what it felt like. It's like, the more I think about my own life, I'm like, I have so much to be thankful for. I have so much to be grateful for. It's so easy to look to the left. It's so easy to look to the right and look at everyone else. But you forget what's right in front of you, your own plate, your own problems, your own success, your own accomplishments. You have to be more proud of who you are. Not to say you need to be boastful, you need to be pompous and walk around like you own the place. But like, you are somebody. You have value, you've accomplished some things. And you tying your accomplishments to someone else is not good. So I hope I can, leave you guys better than how I found you, as Chris would like to say. I hope I can leave you guys better than how I found you. And with that, I would like to say peace and hero Israel.
Excited you've joined us for today's event. If this is your first time, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to click the notification bell to be kept up to date with all the latest news. Also, take a second to like, comment, and share our videos. That's right, like, comment, and share our videos. We would really appreciate that. Also, we are really passionate about sharing our Israelite culture and would welcome your generosity in helping us to reach more people. So please feel free to leave us a donation. If you would like to learn more or are thinking about joining us, then please go ahead and fill out the form in the description box below, and a member of the Welcome Committee will be in contact. Thank you so much for your time, and I leave you with peace, love, truth, prosperity, and power.
I will praise thee with my whole heart. Before the gods will I sing praise unto thee. I will worship toward thy holy temple and praise thy name for thy loving kindness and for thy truth. For thou hast magnified thy word above all thy name. In the day when I cried, thou answerest me and strengthenest me with the strength in my soul. All the kings of the earth shall praise thee, O Lord, when they hear the words of thy mouth. Yea, they shall sing in the ways of the Lord, for great is the glory of the Lord. Though the Lord be high, yet has he respect unto the lowly. But the proud he knoweth afar off. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me. Thou shalt stretch forth thy hand against the wrath of my enemies, and thy right hand shall save me. The Lord will perfect that which concerneth me. Thy mercy, O Lord, endureth forever. Forsake not the works of thy own hands. Selah and Selah. Amen. Good afternoon, brethren and guests. It's good to be here. Good to be here. Welcome, Atlanta. Dirty South is in the house for a very special day tomorrow. I'm excited. Good to see you here, Levi. All right, so today's title is Know Your Value, Embrace Your Worth, the Israelite Legacy. And please give a round of applause again for Nathaniel. I think he did a fantastic job. Back there, you know, if you hear the peanut gallery sometimes out there in Cyberland, and definitely here, Elder was saying, you're going to lose your job. You know, you're going to lose your job. And he's saying it to us back there. And hey, man, that's what it's about, right? Each one teach one, the next generation. So I'm okay. The next generation's doing fine. I'm totally okay. Let's jump into this. Scripture. The first scripture I'm going to read for today is 1 Timothy chapter 6. And I put there. 1 Timothy chapter 6, and we'll start at verse 17. Okay? And verse 17 says, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. That they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come. That they may lay hold on eternal life. And I'll repeat that. Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. What are we saying? What are we saying? Does it just sound poetic? I don't know. What is it saying here? It's saying you got to be poor? It's not saying you got to be poor, right? It says he gives, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob gives us all great things to enjoy. And we lay them up, we lay the foundation for a time to come so that eternal life can set in. And I'll come back to this. Today's topic, like I said, is know your value, embrace your worth, the Israelite legacy. But I'm going to kind of put a little twist on this. Anyone into finance here? Who likes finance? Raise your hand. Finance? Lewis, you like finance? You like money? I like finance. There's so many things in finance, right? It's one thing to like finance. It's another thing to know how to handle it. So, in finance, you should be, I don't know if you are familiar, if you are in finance, maybe Dion over there, my friend Dion, you know, there's two terminologies. You have present value and what? Future value. Yes, I heard that in the back. Nice. Present value and future value. Let's take it slow a little bit. $1 today, if someone promised you $1 today, would you take it? Or $1,500 a year from now? Which deal would you take? Those that says present, put your hand up. Those that say the $1,500 a year from now, put your hand up. So we're going to deal with finance today. Dion, you know the answer. Don't say anything. So we're going to deal a little bit of finance with this topic today. Present value and future value. If you got an offer today to take $1 today or $1,500 a year from now with no risk, $1,500, no risk. You don't have to do a credit check or anything. Would you take the $1 today or the $1,500 a year from now? So by a raise of hand, present value. I know you can't see this online. Maybe you can put a thumbs up online. Present value, thumbs up. And future value, take it a year from now, thumbs up. Okay, the room seems a little split. You want the answer now or later? Now! Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. So let me try it this way. Okay, if you were to make an investment, the big conglomerate store, department store out there is Walmart. If you could buy a stock of Walmart today, would you? Yeah. It's a pretty good investment, good stock, right? and it's a company that does well, you would say what? It's valuable, it has valuable stock, it does well. Let me say this, I will say this. The book value of Walmart, let's say, if you were to do the math, you know, profit and losses, we all understand that. If you were to do the math on paper, Walmart would come up on paper looking like, I don't know, $600 billion. But if you were to do market value, what is it worth? What is the market value of Walmart? You can add another. It would probably be 150 billion more. It would be worth about 750 billion. You can fact check that. You can go on Yahoo Finance and look at market value of Walmart. Probably about $750 billion. Market value. But on paper, they said 600 billion. Isn't that a huge difference? That's a huge difference in perception and what is and what it's valued at. So the dollar today.
Really close. It's 740 billion.
Yeah, I was gonna say 749, but yes. You're quick, I like that, Joelle. See, there's always a fact checker, so you can't come up here and do That's the market value, not the book value, right? You'd probably like that. You would love that. So, the present value today is that you have market value, and then what will it be worth in the future? I want to also say this, and I'll answer the question after I talk about this. Walmart gives their employees, anyone here knows what ESOs are? What's an ESO? The young people may not know. Anyone into finance will know. Right. Thank you. Employee stock options. Employee stock options. What are employee stock options? This means stock options that gives the employees the right to acquire shares into the corporation at a fixed price, strike price, on a future date. So you get it at this, you're told today it's worth $1, and I don't know, next week the stock goes up to $20, and next week you can buy it for the $1 that you were told today, the grant price, okay? We're gonna stop there on the finance. What I will do is go back, because I'm taking too long with this, but I will go back and answer the question. You should take the $1 today. Why now? You should take the $1 today, because $1 today, you can take that, invest it, you flip it, the interest rates, all this stuff that a year later, it will actually be worth more than the $1,500. Yes. It's hypothetical. 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 Okay, it's not a finance class now. The finance is over. You want to know how? Meet me after. Pay me a fee.
Can I ask a question? Okay, so my question is this. You said $1 today, right? You take $1 today, but you didn't say the dollar is gonna, change. You're saying take.
No, it's what you do with it, Nathaniel. That's where I'm going.
Okay, but you see the 1,500, right? You see the 1,500.
That's a year from now.
A year from now, who's to say that $1 that you take is gonna multiply into that 1,500?
It may surpass it.
That's what I'm saying.
It will. If you're a good investor, it will. That's the point that I'm making.
I have a question.
You guys are turning this to finance.
What investment am I getting a 1,500x on?
All right, we'll deal with that. Crypto. I'll tell you the investment.
If it's not crypto, please. I actually want.
I'm going to tell you. Well, I'll tell you. Have a seat. We'll get there. All right. So the point is, can you imagine this billion-dollar company and the employees? When you buy a share, you get to own what? A piece of the. Okay, pie. Okay, that wasn't the word I was looking for, man. A piece of the company. When you buy stock, you're buying into the company. You have equity ownership. You become an owner of that stock. I own part shares of this company. And when it makes money, you get a dividend. Nice. That sounds nice, right? Man, I need to own some stocks at Walmart. So that's everyone. And why do they do this? They're a billion-dollar company. Why does Walmart do this? Why does Walmart do this? Anybody could think of the why when you want to talk about how to invest and all that? The why. What's the why? Anybody? No? Nobody wants to take a stab. Pension? Someone said pension. The why is, if you're an employee at Walmart, what you're going to do, you have an ownership, right, of a stock. You are going to work your butt off to sell someone, a customer, that product. The more products you sell, the more you increase the bottom line, and the more profits end up in your pocket, right? Very wise. That's not a wise thing. But the thing is, when you think about Walmart and the way they're doing this, it's not even a new concept. This is not new at all. Where do you think they got it from, guys? All from here. All from the Bible. And you want to know how? Oh, okay, Joseph. Okay, I like it. I'll tell you how. Let's go to Genesis chapter 12. And we're going to go visit one of our patriarchs today, Abraham, our forefather. Thank God for Abraham. And we're going to go to chapter 12. And oh man, the time runs out quickly, huh? I don't know if I want to start at the beginning or if I want to start further down. So, okay, you know what? We have some new folks in the crowd, so maybe we'll start a little bit at the beginning. All right, we'll start at verse 1, and I'm going to speed read a little bit of this, guys, and get to what I'm trying to say. Verse 1, Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make thee of a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Wow. Can you imagine God looks down on earth? All of earth going to and fro, and stop. You, Abram, I got a plan for you. Get out of this place. Go somewhere you've never been, a place that I'm going to show you. Take everything you have, and I will bless you and your seed and all this kinds of stuff. Right? That sounds. Would you take that deal with a God? If a God came down and spoke to you, would you take that deal? Really? Really? You would give up everything you know and just go somewhere you don't know? Wow, you guys are some dedicated people, man. Yeah, you'd be scared, right? You doubt? He was rich? Didn't Daddy have money?
I think the answer is no, because that is the same that we're being told today, and we're not following.
You would say no, you wouldn't.
I'm saying the same scenario here, the same scenario we're given today. It's the same thing the God of Israel is saying to us.
Yes. All right. Anyways, the good news is Abraham listened. And he left. He left Daddy's house and went somewhere he didn't know. And then we're going to fast forward, okay? And he took everything. He took his nephew, his wife, all his belongings, and he went to that land. Let's fast forward. And for those of you that have never read it before, I implore you to go home and read the whole story. And we're going to fast forward to verse 9. So he's on his way traveling, and Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land. So you talk about riches. And there was a famine in the land. My goodness, I just spoke to God and told me to leave my house. And there's a famine in the land? What the heck, man? So what does he do? So Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. Grievous. Crops aren't growing, the rain ain't falling. You see, you know, again, those of you in finance, when there's a drought, you know, you don't get your crops, and the little bit of strawberries you get, the price skyrockets, right, in the summertime. If there's no, drought, if there's too much rain even, your crops don't get to grow properly. So there's a famine in the land. It was grievous. He needed, you know, it's like now, you know, you lost your job. You lost everything you had. or you left one opportunity for a new opportunity and it didn't work out. What do you got to do? You got to quick on your toes. What are you going to think of? Oh, I got to get another job. Oh, I got to go ask the rich uncle, what is it, Nathaniel, the billionaire? Go ask the billionaire for some funds. I got to do something, right? I got get some funds in my pocket. And it came to pass when he come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah's wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. So he went into Egypt. Egypt of the world then is no different from the Egypt now. Everybody, if you have a Caribbean background, everybody wants to get to Farin. Everybody wants to get to the new Egypt. Everybody was told the new Egypt was paved with gold and you don't have to do anything. And then you get here and you got to work in snow and minus, they say it's going to be minus 28 degrees this week in Toronto, Canada. Minus 28 degrees with a 40 wind chill. Like, come on, man. You left your warm tropical country to come. So he leaves everything and he goes to Egypt because it's supposed to be this beautiful place. And he knows that's a place flowing with milk and honey and whatever it's got going on, I will do well there. So he brings his family there. And he brings his wife there. And he says, my wife, good gosh almighty, you are beautiful. You are too beautiful. You're going to get me in trouble. I can't take you nowhere. Can you just wear a blanket? What are we going to do with you? And this made him fearful. Because anybody, how can I put this? How can you guys, I don't know, the young men may not know. I don't know who would, how can I see? I'm trying to find an example. You ever look at a couple, okay, I don't even want to use them. I'm not even going to bring up names. But you look at a couple and a beautiful woman on the arm of a man walks into the room. Everybody does what? They turn their heads to look. Everybody wants to look at a beautiful woman. And Israelite women are the most beautiful women on earth. Always got a plug. Always got a plug. They want to be like us, but they ain't. Yeah, Beyonce. I was going to say Beyonce, Jay-Z. But the whole room shifts. I've witnessed this on so many different levels. I used to, when I was younger, back in the day, used to see supermodels. They were a big thing of the past, supermodels. And they always had a short little itty bitty. And they would be so tall and everyone looks to the woman. It was just interesting. Anyways, I digress. Verse 12, Therefore shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me. But they will save thee alive. Woman, I'm not dying for you. They see you, they're going to want you and kill me to get to you. Say, I pray thee, oh, come on, Sarai. Just tell people that you are my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was coming to Egypt, that the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. So everything he said happened. Ooh, who is that? Who is that new person in the place? 15, the princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her for being Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house because the king wants everything that's beautiful. Snatch that up real quick. And poor Abram. Abram didn't do anything. Right? Yeah, he took my wife. And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen and he-asses and men servants and maid servants and she servants and camels. It's this thing of culture and decency and what people do. I take your wife, here is some sheep, some oxen, some maid servants, men servants, camels. There was a famine in the land. He went in there and he gained from the king's palace. He had to give up his wife. And this is the beautiful part. Verse 17. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai's, Abram's wife. And there was intervention here. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, she is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her and go thy way." And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away and his wife and all that he had. So Abram made his exit. He came into Egypt with nothing and made his exit with a whole lot more. When God spoke to Abram, he only told him to get up and go away to a land that you know not. When famine happened, Abram wasn't privy to that part. Well, God could have told me there was going to be a famine in the land. He wasn't privy to that. He had his wits about him. He got into gear. Maybe he didn't cry for a couple of days. He's human. I can't think he's like a Superman superhero. Maybe he's wondering what the heck. Maybe he's pacing back and forth. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? You know? But he got a plan quickly and went into Egypt. He used his wits about him. On top of that, he lied. You mean people of the Bible lie? Israelites lie? The Hebrew man lied? And the thing is, did God tell him to do that? Abraham had his wits about him. And he told the lie. He gained all that he gained and left Egypt with a whole lot more than what he went in it. So what I want to say about Abram, as we know his story, is that this is one small demonstration of what he, oh geez, go ahead, yes. It's not Saturday morning, sorry. So what I want to, but hold on to it, Colin, if it comes in somewhere, okay? Okay, well, we'll see. What I want to hold on to is what Abram valued. He respected what was told to him, and day by day, he lived his life. Little by little, we knew that he was tested more and more and more, right? The whole situation with Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah, having a son, down to the point of having to offer up and sacrifice Isaac. Constantly, he was tested. And every single time he passed the test, little by little, Abram was increasing his faith and his confidence in this God, where he first heard this voice of get up and go depart into a land you know not. And every time he did this, he was building this legacy of really himself at the moment. Building this legacy, so much so that every time he did this, he valued the previous experience before and what was about to come. So much so that the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, because when he knew him, he was only God Almighty, said, Abram, in Genesis chapter 17, your name is not Abram anymore, it's Abraham. So much so. Says, so much so, you passed the test with everything. You know, Abram built up worth. He built up value. He invested his life not overnight. You know, you're going to take that dollar stock. You think you're going to lump sum and you invest it all. You know, you have to diversify. You can't put everything in one stock. You have little by little. Abram did what else? He got a well. What else did he do? He got burial plot. Like he spread. He invested in many different areas of his life for himself or for the future. Right? He was thinking about, I got to bury the dead out of my sight. I got to bury my wife so that even the rest of the family can be buried there in Machpelah. He invested in all that. He built up so much worth that he became valuable to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Like I said, that he changed his name, even went beyond that and changed his wife's name. I have so much respect unto you that your wife's name is not going to be Sarai anymore. It's going to be Sarah. I have so much respect for you that I'm even going to name that child Isaac. I have so much respect for everything that you've passed, all this faith, everything that you've done, that even this contract that we sign, that we take value in today, in 2025, Nathaniel was just talking about it. In 2025, the value to stand up here and be confident to say that covenant was signed by my forefather with the foreskin of him in blood. And today, our men are the men they are, men of the circumcision, because of all the worth and work and faith that Abraham put in. And then when you stand here today and you read our history book and see all the things that we doubted and didn't do, and you stand here and you have to say to yourself, my goodness, thank God for Abraham and that covenant. Because if there wasn't a covenant, my goodness, we'd be wiped out. Thank the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for making a covenant with my forefather Abraham that we could be here today. So he knew his value and his worth. About preservation of the family, right? And I want to say this, he was wise, he wasn't selfish. This title was definitely born out of, I have to say this because we have Atlanta in the house. A couple Friday nights ago, we had Missouri. The title was born out of that Friday night, about value and access and worth. And I was like, let's put it together. And then I'm told, it sounds like a very academic title. But yes, that was really good. I really enjoyed the mixture of the older men and the younger men and the discourse that they've had. It was really, really nice. And I have to also say, I really enjoy Friday nights, 66 Books, the youth in Georgia, in Missouri, in New Jersey, the UK. You guys are really represented. Value and worth. This is where I'm getting at today. Very good. So keep up the excellent work. And in that lesson that Friday night, I heard a word in that. And the word that I heard was access. Access is one of my favorite words in life. Everybody, if you can have access to something in life, this is a question to you guys, what would you want to have access to? The vault? What would you like to have? And don't give me a textbook answer either. What would you like to have access to? Billions? Everybody's talking about money. I knew you were going to say the God of Israel, right? Who else wants? That's the textbook. Yeah. What else? Okay. Today, right now, you got to pay the rent tomorrow. What do you want to have access to? Okay. When you guys were 21 at night on a Friday night, what did you want to have access to? Yes. You go to the club, you pull up, you want to stand in the back of the line or the front. You want VIP access. You want, as soon as I pull up, let me in access, right? You want access to the social club. You want access to the celebrities. Well, not me, but you want access to, I heard the vault already. Access. Access is a big deal, man. In life, access is a big deal. You want access. Who just said how to invest the dollar and make it more? You want access to that information, right? And ultimately access, as it was said, well, if you're an Israelite from the Israelite Nationwide Ministries, absolutely to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Access. That's a big deal. So, and I love that about the scripture that was read that night by Ezra was, it's when I was a young 20-something, that's the scripture I held on to. Nehemiah being the king's cupbearer. The job sounds so simple. Like, you might even look down on it. Let's be honest. Like today, would you look down? Levi, would you want to be the king's cupbearer? No. Right? Would you, Ezekiel, teacher Ezekiel, would it be? It depends. Yeah. The king's cupbearer. Access.
Yo, King, there's this house down by the block over there with two big pillars. You spent some money on your boy over here? I've been married a couple the last 20 years.
You think about it.
I might get his favor.
You might get his favor. This is where I'm going, teacher Ezekiel. This is exactly where I'm going.
You may have your own business down the street, but I'm the king's cupbearer. I chat game plans with the guy. I know his secrets. He comes to me with his.
I don't know if you know all his secrets, but I hear you. Yeah. I don't know if you know the king's secrets, but yes.
You think they're higher than me, but really, I'm the real OG in the house.
You're the OG in the house. I like it. So the king's cupbearer, this was my scripture. I'm telling you, massage a relationship. That's what you said. You get close enough to develop some rapport, to create a relationship, chop it up, as they say, right? Become a little bestie and share secrets and plans. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
I'm pretty sure one of my good friends, he's Venezuelan, and he told me that the president of their country, the way he got into power, at first he was a bus driver, and it's because of his relationship with the former president that allowed him to get into that position. So it's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy.
He's not even qualified for
right?
the job.
It doesn't even qualify for the job. You gotta be careful about that access sometimes. Nepotism. Okay, we'll take some more. Oh, yeah, a whole lesson. I guess I just must sit down now.
I just want to say one quote that reminds me of.
Go ahead, yeah.
It's not about what you know or who you know. It's about who know you. You understand? So
I heard that differently. It's not about what you know, it's who you know.
I know what you heard. You said it's not about what you heard.
I heard
is
the previous.
It's not about what you know. It's about who you know.
That's what I heard.
But it's not about that. It's not about what, because you can know them, but they don't know you. You understand? It's not about what you know or who you know. It's about who know you.
So, and that's why this example works well, because they got to know each other.
I'm saying I'm giving that to you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's a little gem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about all that. But it's about who you know and who know you. Fine. But I don't know if you're right, but yes. The point.
If he was giving him, he was the cupbearer, and he was like, yeah, whatever. What's his name? Nathan?
No, but I could play that out differently. I could be like, that's the king right there. I know him. I don't know him, but I'm gonna get to know him. I know of him, and I'm gonna get to know him. So I'm gonna go there and massage that relationship. He's not gonna care about me. He don't care about the cupbearer. They change them out. They change them out every day. But he kept his position. He kept his post. He did everything he did to be favored. So much so, and this is not even the story that I really want to use. So much so that he was able to gain that access and favor from the king, so that he can go back and build the walls of Jerusalem. And again, there was intervention. What I wanted to say there even before with Abram was the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob intervened. Abram had his plan. He went into Egypt to get his famine. He got his riches. He said the thing about his wife to be his sister. And then it went awry. You'd say, oh, they really did take her. And God stepped in and be like, don't worry. I got you. Chill. I'm going to deal with Pharaoh himself. I don't even have to send foot soldiers. I will deal with Pharaoh himself, who will have to turn around and restore everything back to you and send you on your way. I digress. But what I wanted to say here was even, so even with Nehemiah, he went back to build the wall. But Joseph, someone mentioned Joseph earlier. Yes, there you go. Thank you, Shernette. Joseph was another go-to for me. I like stories that I can hold on to in terms, as it relates to my family, that I can relate to and hold on to and see their struggles. Because I feel like I've had struggles. And especially when you're young, like you're trying to get over the hurdles. You're trying to get to the next thing. Joseph, and I think the favorite part of my story, to be honest, was, he ended up in jail. All the dreams he had, everything about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he ended up in jail. And I often wonder, what kept him? What kept Joseph? What do you guys think Joseph held on to? Faith? Okay. What else? The God of Israel? Yeah, that's the number one answer for everything today. What else? His culture? Okay. Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead. I can't hear. Faith, confidence, self-value, everything I'm talking about. The God of Israel gives us nuggets in our life. Before he ended up in jail, way before his brothers sold him, he had dreams and visions. And he ended up in a terrible position. Okay, let me go back to access. Before he ended up in jail, how did he get to jail? His brothers sold him, and whose house did he ended up in once he was sold into Egypt? Thank you, Lewis. I can always count on Lewis. Thank you. So great. He ended up in Potiphar's house. But what happened when he was in Potiphar's house? Oh, let's go there, because it's such a, let's go there. Genesis 39. I forgot. We can read what's in front of us. Let's read it, right? Genesis chapter 39. My goodness, this goes quickly. Let me just check. Okay. Genesis chapter 39, verse 1. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt. Good old Egypt. Everything happens in Egypt. Everybody wants to go to America. I don't know. Do you guys want Canada to become 51st? No. Okay. Maybe I lied then. Okay. I take it back. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites. Those good old Ishmaelites, they're always selling us, huh? Which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. He was prosperous. And guess what? And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph, so you think the master's going to want to let him go? Everything this man touches turns to gold. I got to hold on to this one. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer of his house, his whole house. And all that he had he put into his hand. The master of the house. So Joseph in Potiphar's house became what? Basically like what? Second in command. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed whose house? The Egyptian's house. For Joseph's sake. And for whose sake? Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. The access that the Egyptian had, that Potiphar had with Joseph, he found favor in him. The access with him caused the entire house to be prosperous. That the Egyptians were blessed. Isn't that a beautiful? So it's not like, would you say the God of Israel is a racist in that sense? If you entreat us and treat us good, then what happens? The blessing too shall fall upon you. And all of this, so Joseph had, and he knew the Lord was with him. He had his dreams. So when we fast forward now, and we know what happened with Potiphar's wife. Yeah, she's a whole mess, and he ends up in jail. He's holding on to this. Well, everything I did was good, and now I'm in jail. How did I end up here, man? I think if I was Joseph in my life, I'd be like, man, how my brothers do that to me? How I end up here? But then who in jail joined him? You had the baker and the butler. Pharaoh's, again, always Pharaoh's people, thrown in the dungeon with him. Remember that word, dungeon? Thrown in the dungeon, throw him in the dungeon. And they had dreams, and he did what? Interpreted their dreams. So to the point when they left, he came out, because Pharaoh had a dream, and they reminded him, there's a guy in jail that can do dreams really well. And they fast forward to the story. He interprets Pharaoh's dream, and the dream that he has is what? 7 years of famine and 7 years of good crop. And Pharaoh had so much respect onto him that, as we know, he ended up, what happens? Becomes second in command. Access, and all of Egypt is blessed. All of the world is blessed. The point that I'm making here today, and then we know he's reunited with his family, is he understands his value and his worth. And when he does become reunited with his family, go ahead, Levi.
I just wanted to add on to your point. The thing with Joseph is, through him not denying his talent and what made him special, he was able to kind of, I guess, understand his own value. So I feel like that kind of applies to knowing your own values, knowing the gifts that you were given and using them no matter what.
Absolutely.
So just add.
Joseph recognized his dreams were valuable. Yeah, I agree with you, Stephanie. Our children are valuable. You see them all up here attacking the mic. I love it. He understood how valuable his dreams were. Even so much about his life. He looked to his dreams as worth and how valuable they were, that he held them close, tight. Anybody, you guys remember what you dreamed last night? Put up your hands. No. Yeah, only Elder Tammy. She's like, oh, Joelle, fine. When you do have a dream, man, you wake up and you think, man, that was a weird dream. Oh my gosh. You ever write it down? Anybody writes those weird dreams down? You ever tried to tell somebody the dream that you had that was weird and awkward? You don't remember any of the details? Joseph remembers his dreams and remembers the details. Certain dreams. Right. Everyone dreams, is whether you care to remember them or not. Right? So he valued his dreams so much so that he would respect it. Anytime someone would tell him something, he would entreat of the Lord to interpret their dream, and then thus how he became second in command, right? All right, so let's shift gears from Joseph a little bit. We're talking about a little bit of finance, value, and worth. And I kind of heard I don't know what it was. I think Christopher may have started off, or maybe it was Issachar. I kind of want to do it again. And it was said with the billionaire, but this time, oh my gosh, the time just goes quickly. Oh my goodness. Worth and value. What is value and what is worth? And I don't recall what you said, Christopher, but it was something like, I don't remember. What was it? Something valuable, like what is valuable, or what is valuable to you or something. Correct. Okay, yes, that's what I wanted to get at. So worth usually has like a sum to it, right? And maybe we can read it. Worth primarily focuses on deserving, recognition, attention, or respect based on qualities or achievements, whereas valuable emphasizes the inherent worth, usefulness, or importance of something, often in terms of its practical. Value is it's subjective, so to speak, right? I could say this podium is valuable, but someone else might say, it's worth nothing. Right? I could buy that Bitcoin and say, man, that's real valuable. Stock is nothing. It's going to plummet tomorrow, right? What else? Tell me what else is valuable. You got a house. House is valuable? Yeah, how do you treat it? What do you do? With care, okay. Relationships, I like that one. That could be valuable. Time is valuable, yeah. Information, valuable. It's really what it means to you. When you you get a house or something, you adorn it with nice furniture, you keep it clean, you value it, you take care of it, and those are tangible. But I heard something intangible, relationship. It takes time to build relationships. It takes time to build trust. And relationships, are they like this? Relationships test you.
Real quick, I like what you said there, because you said value comes down to the meaning of it. And the meaning can be different for anyone depending on what they need at that time or what's going on in their life or what they actually see. Mm-hmm. So I think the meaning is the foundation of anything. If you know what it means, because a lot of people can have gold but don't know they have gold in front of them. They don't know the meaning of what they have. So I think when you boil it down like that, meaning makes it very clear what the value is.
Absolutely. Yeah. To your point, Teacher Ezekiel, the scripture was read by Elder Tyrone earlier. He said, I separated you and made you a holy people. There's value in that because of everything before that. And there's value in that we now today get to look to it and say, like, wow, he separated us? I must be worth something.
Meaning, and just even that, what does that mean? If the true and living God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, tells you that you are the apple of his eye, that meaning, what you mean to him, then that tells you the foundation of what you are as a person. But it goes back to Romans 9, It's like, I've given you have the service of God, you have the laws, you have the prophets. Christ came for you guys.
Well, this is where I'm going. So what I want to make, again, and I'm going back to investment, compounding interest versus, lump sum investments. There I see a shake heading in the back. Compounding, what's compounding? Compounding interest. It is, so back to that $1 and $1,500, right? If you take money today, you think you'll get more money if I take that $1,500 today and invest it 5 years from now, it'll make a lot of money? Possibly, yeah. It'll increase for sure, like if it's doing well. Now, if I take that, and in 5 years, you'll get this. So $1,500 and 30% of that, you'll make that in 5 years, right? Now, you take that $1,500 and you say, this is a gem for you guys if you go to the bank. You put your money, and you say, you know what, I want to earn interest on this every month, not in 5 years and not every year, but every month I want to earn. That's called compounding interest. And what happens is when you compare those two at the end of 5 years, you're going to see that the compounding interest is actually worth more. You get more value for the buck. Okay, let me get this point out. You guys, oh Lord, you guys, go ahead.
Because you speak about the compounding interest, the investments, all that stuff, but we also spoke about value, right? You could find value and add value in different aspects, right? So when you're looking in stocks and you're looking at the company you want to invest in, you're looking at the value behind the scenes. Who's the CEO? What are they investing in? These things are what you're looking for.
Joelle, you're doing my lesson.
To make sure a year from now that this is a good investment. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? So you're looking value in different places.
Absolutely, and one of those, let's hold on to what you said, add value, because that's the other part. So the point that I'm making is little by little, over time, we increase the value. At least that's what we should. Abraham walk thou me, be thou perfect, increased over time. He became perfect, increased the stock, and the value shot way up so that a whole bunch of us could be here now. Isaac and then Israel Jacob wrestled with the angel. Name was changed to Israel. 12 tribes later, stock went way up. Value, right? Over time, as adults, for the next generation, over time, little by little, we took care of our own household, then our own tribes, 2 or 3 households, then other tribes, eventually the entire nation gets taken care of. In our culture, when you had agriculture, you wouldn't just reap everything. You would leave some for the widows and the orphans, and those that were less fortunate. We take care of the family. But that didn't just happen overnight. Little by little, we built. Elder Shadrach and the council and everyone at that time helped laid the foundation. Little by little, adults to the next generation, we invest in you. We invest in you and in your worth and in your value because Abraham and everybody else did it for us. And we are that repairer of the breach, right? We are the ones that we value we have the altar, we value it, then we have to be of value to it by going to the services and the new moons, visiting it, being a part of it, right? We have to be of that value. How do we add that value? When I think about the rich man and his 2 sons, a lot of times when you're young or even just in general, you're doing well and, you leave. You want to try something new. We're human. It's human nature. You think the grass is greener. It is human nature. You may uproot yourself, and I keep saying that because I did that. You uproot yourself and you go somewhere else to try it out. Try a hand, try your luck, and see what risk you take. Unfortunately for him, he ended up with the pigs, but he remembered, I'm worthy of something. I come from good stock. I come from a good home, good Israelite family. And he went back home and everybody was happy, What I love about our family, about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is that he scrubs the earth. He scours the earth and he scrubs it. And he doesn't stop. The Bible didn't end. We're continually growing and increasing. He scrubbed it when Cain killed Abel. He scrubbed it to get Seth because there was a reason there. There was something he valued. He liked the fact that Seth looked like Adam, and Adam, he made in his own image and likeness, looked like him, God, right? Then he scrubbed it again and found Abraham. Then he scrubbed it and scrubbed it. So much he scrubbed it till he found Moses, because Moses had grit. Moses was not a wimp. Moses was reliable. Moses was responsible. He saw all these qualities about him. He can add value. He is of value, and he can add value to my plan of whatever it is I need to do. And he scrubbed it again. Keep scrubbing. And God, David likes to fight, man. This guy likes women. He likes to fight. And he goes and he fights all the armies, but he had heart and he had humility. Man, this guy likes to fight. To fight, you have to, oh my gosh, the time just runs out. When you go into the army, you guys hear the horror stories about the soldiers being pumped up with drugs and stuff like that to fight, right? So that they're not fearful, because a lot of times these guys are young. They get them right out of high school, 18, 19, 20, put them in the army, you give them an AK, I don't know, some kind of rifle, some pumpy, right? M16. So I wouldn't go to war with a Glock. That would be silly. But yeah, you know what I mean. Can you get one? And you have to go and you see all these men and you're but 21. They pump some drugs in you, man. So go out there and have no fear. You know what I mean? So he scrubs the earth. David, zero fear. He said, I don't know. I can't even see this in my mind, a man killing a bear and a lion. But anyways, that's a whole thing. You know, a boy as a lad at that. You know, the confidence you have to have in yourself to even attempt to do something like that, right? You go to the zoo, you ever see the lions and they roar, you're like, good Lord, he gonna eat me. You know, to have some grit and bravado. You know, so he scrubbed the earth. I like that in David. And he keeps scrubbing the earth. He scrubbed it till he found Mary. That's a young, good Israelite princess. I need her to do something for me. She's got to carry that child, Jesus. Ooh, she's got a cousin. Family business. It's all family. Elizabeth, you got to carry John the Baptist. Scrubbing the earth. So much so that fast forward, he scrubbed the earth and he found Elder Shadrach. And said, yeah. Even after all of our bad ways, after 400 years, found one man who would come and restore the law, statutes, commandments, the flag, anthem, this, that, and the third. But he didn't stop with Elder Shadrach. He kept going. He scrubbed the earth and he scrubbed the earth until he found Elder Sophie and Priest Ando, so that maybe we could just get Tamar, Teacher Tamar. He scrubbed it so we can get Levi. He went all the way to the dirty south to get Levi. Then he went all the way to TNT, Trinidad, to get Aaron. Then he went all the way. He keeps going all throughout the earth, scrubbing it. He got Shechem. Got Toriano and got Shechem. Took these people from their life. Brought two people together, a mommy and a daddy, and brought them together so you could be here. Brought them together, the parents together, so the parents can unite to say, teach this child to live up to the Israelite legacy. Even today. And he's not quitting. He's not stopping. He brought Rayshawn, who just came yesterday, and said, I need his two daughters here. He keeps going everywhere. You guys are going to be my family because I see something in you, Rayshawn. You were out rapping who knows what. But I like his dance moves, man. He got to bring that to the family. There's something inside your spirit. I like that. He adds value to my family because he's worthy. He comes from good stock. He went all the way to Bowmanville and found Beverly. And even all her children. So he is always crying out to us. It's up to us to answer that call. We have to now see ourselves valuable and worthy. Nathaniel spoke about doubt earlier, like Gideon. Gideon tested. Fine, you're human. I can't imagine Israelite. I'm going to walk in the room and make it happen. If you're that Israelite, then I need to be your friend because I can glean from that, A lot of people are very doubtful. We worry, even though he tells us not to. Even though you have access to the greatest God, your human nature kicks in, right? And you become that. But you should walk with your head high. You are worthy because you are an Israelite. Let's go to, and I'm talking about family because little by little, let's go to 1 Timothy 3. I'm going to stick with the Israelite man. Oh, gosh. Am I going to get to do this? Oh, man, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get to, but, well, we'll try. There's so many more I wanted to touch on. Should I do Timothy? We have 4 minutes. Let's see, guys. I think I'm going to go. Let's switch. I'm going to switch Timothy. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. So we talked about there's diversification, right? There's different parts. I think Joelle said it. There's so many different places you can add value and be of value. So many different things you can do. So chapter 6, we'll start at verse 12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Meats for the belly and belly for the meats, but God shall destroy both it and them. Now that the body is not for fornication, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. And God has both raised up the Lord, and he will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them members of a harlot? God forbid. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of what? Finish it for me. Let's read it again. What? What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of what? Which is where? Which you have of who? And ye are not your? For ye are bought with what? Therefore glorify. Selah and Selah. Amen. We're talking about value and worth. From the very beginning, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Joelle. It's poetic. We talked about, from the very beginning, compounding interest and investing. So much so that even your own body, he believes in this family so much that even your body belongs to him. It is a temple to be treated with care. So what things are, I mean, we just read a bunch and there was some in Timothy I would like to read, but what things are you not going to do with your body? He said it's not even of your own. Can you imagine? He created you, so why would it be your own? What else? What wouldn't you do to your body? Oh gosh, you want to cut off your arm? You want to, like, intentionally. Okay, I'm hearing it in the background, about Rastas, smoking, smoking, growing up, it was all about the cigarettes. Well, if you come from a Caribbean household, it was about the ganja and marijuana, Smoking. What about alcohol? Alcohol, right? Drinking. What about piercings? There are cultures that believe in piercing. There's cultures that believe in smoking to entertain what? Okay. There are cultures that pierce all over their body to do what? Entertain. Elder Tyrone likes to talk about the prophets of Baal. They did a lot of what? To entertain. Correct. They marked the body, the tattoos, whatever it is. But the whole purpose of your body is to do what? Even before that, go back to verse 19. The reason why we take care of our body is what? Let's read it again. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of what? Correct. That's why we have respect unto it. We have respect unto our body because it is supposed to be the place that even the way you want to add value there. Because it hasn't really gone away, has it? He said in the book of Acts, I'll pour out the Spirit on the sons and the daughters, and they will dream dreams and have visions. But how can he do that if you're intoxicated, tripping up all over yourself, right? How can he do that, if you're cutting up yourself? But like Mary, who probably ate healthy, exercised, meditated on the law, her body and vessel was used to entertain the what? Okay, but when it came, okay, fine. It said, who appeared unto her? The Lord, the Holy Ghost, everything, right? We are, Nathaniel said it earlier, outside of the physical, we are a spiritual being. Everything we do is spirit to spirit. We talk about John the Baptist having the spirit of Elijah, and Jesus having the spirit of the Christ, the only begotten Son of God, that how much more so you here now in 2025 with your own spirit. So let's preserve it, take care of it, but in this, we have to invest, like before we get there, we have a lot of work to do, guys. And it starts with, I would say, the adults. Because it's our duty to teach the next generation the do's and the don'ts, the respect, how you do this, how you do that. Young people ask a million questions. We may not have all the answers, but we will guide you. We will guide you. And as we do this as a family, the more we invest, take time, the more we will increase our value so that the God of Israel can do what he needs to do with us, what? Spiritually. Go ahead, Joel. You know what, Joel? I've never heard that saying before. You and Christopher, you cannot build a sky. Has anyone heard that one? That's new to you, Teacher Ezekiel? Oh, that's comforting. Oh, you made it up? Did you make that up? Oh, okay. You know, I didn't get to do everything I wanted, but you guys are so smart. You got the crooks of it all. But know your value, embrace your worth, because we are the Israelite legacy. With that, I say peace.